President Trump's pick to be the next director of the FBI is expected to receive bipartisan support at his Senate confirmation hearing Wednesday. Christopher Wray told lawmakers he would never let politics get in the way of the Bureau's mission. If confirmed, the 50-year-old will replace James Comey, who was fired by the president 2 months ago. WCCO chief political reporter Pat Kessler joins us now. Good morning, Pat.
Hey, good morning.
So Minnesota Senator Al Franken asked Christopher Wray some tough questions, but at the end he said even he was impressed with the testimony.
Yeah, I think I watched this hearing yesterday for several hours, and it does appear that the United States senators expressed kind of relief that maybe they got a really good person here appointed by President Trump to head the FBI after all of the controversy, the firing of James Comey, the election stuff from last year, Comey and Hillary Clinton. They think that Christopher Wray is the right man at the right place at the right time. And Republicans and Democrats both, including both Minnesota Senators Klobuchar and Franken, do like the guy. He expressed his independence from Donald Trump, said he would not be influenced by him or he would resign, would not express any oath of loyalty, and also said he thinks that this is not a witch hunt of the Russian meddling in the election. So all in all, I think every senator yesterday really liked the guy.
Pat, do we know when the confirmation may actually be approved?
Well, it goes through the committee pretty quickly here, and then it will go to the Senate floor, and that's when you'll see more of the debate. People raising more questions. The politics of this will be about Russian meddling in the election and what the FBI will do or won't do. And we'll see more of that, but I do believe he will be approved overwhelmingly, I think.
All right, let's go to France, where President Trump landed this morning. He's hoping to find some common ground and ties with French President Macron while he is in France.
Yeah, it's really interesting to watch. Think about this. France is the United States' longest ally, the longest serving, closest friend for a couple hundred years. And yet we have some strains in the relationship. The new president, remember that handshake, that grip where they were just these two alpha males?
It was the dude off.
Yeah, I mean, they're shaking hands and white knuckles. A part of this is that President Trump, according to European leaders, is moving the United States into an isolationist place where Europe says you shouldn't be doing that. So the French president says that he is going to go it alone on things like climate change, but they do have some things in common, particularly terrorism, and that's what I think they're going to be talking about. There is a really good opportunity here to reset the relationship on that, and I think a lot of Americans might want to see that happen.
Mitch McConnell, Senate Majority Leader, expected to unveil a revised version of the Senate health care bill because the first bill was almost immediately rejected.
DOA, yeah.
Right. So what's the deal with this one, Pat?
Well, we don't know how much of a change it will be. We're beginning to hear some of the stuff that's in it and not in it. They may have removed a lot of the tax cuts for wealthy people that were in the previous bill, and that will help some of the moderate Republicans. But it does not do anything for Medicaid. It still cuts hundreds of millions of people, or I should say tens of millions of people, off Medicaid, and that is something that, in fact, a lot of people are going to be upset about. So far, even before this bill is announced, you've got 3 Republican senators saying they're not going to vote for it. So this one may not go anywhere either, but they're going to give it one more shot. And this is a sign of how serious it is. McConnell has canceled their their month vacation. They have to stay for 2 weeks in August. So now you know this is a big deal.
That's how you know it's serious. Pat,
Yep,
thank you.
Yep.